where were we? Turn around, Sean. Marvin, sit up. There we go. We were talking about why a forest couldn't really grow in his room. Chelsea gave a great answer. She said because forests grow outside. Trees grow outside. This is his room. Your room is outside. Well, interesting. Let's see what's going to happen. So, I'll read this page again. That very night in Max's room, the forest grew.
And remember, you showed us silently. Can a forest really grow in Max's room? No, Chelsea gave us that awesome answer, right? Let's keep going and see what happens. All right, go to the next page.
Forest grew. Sit and stand. Please don't question. And grow. Everyone grow a little. And grow some more. Until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became a world all around. An ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day.
Everyone pretend you're on your boat. Sit and say, "Yar!" And fold your hands. Let's see what's on the next page. Marian's tracking with hands folded, so is Dylan.
Let's see. Oh my goodness. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year to where the wild things are. Going to where the wild things are. Wait a minute. A year? Weeks? Does he look prepared for that kind of journey? Does he look ready for that kind of journey? Show me silently.
Weeks and years?
Years?
That's so many days. That's almost 365 days. That's
a lot. We haven't even been in school for that long.
Everyone say, "Ooh, the wild things."
Ooh, the wild things. I have a question for you.
Listen closely.
Do you think Max was really gone for weeks and a year? Show me silently. Show me silently. What do you think? Do you think he could really be gone for a year? Think in your head, why not? Get ready. Mr. Clark, it's time to
turn and talk. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Listen for the question from Miss Gordon. Go for it.
Do you think he could really be gone for a whole year? Why not?
Yes, because nice answer.
No, he was not walk
Checking for hands folded, sitting up. Got it, got it, got it. Eyes tracking.
Okay. So, do you think he could really be gone for a year? Hands up. Ooh, we should all put our hands up. We should pass our hands down, close the body. Ready? Hands up. That was super fast. What do you think, Ronell? Track Ronell. So now sit down, please.
Louder. I can't hear you over there.
He can't be gone for a whole week because it's make-believe.
It's make-believe? How did you know that? What's he wearing? What's he wearing, Kameen? Kelsey?
He's wearing it.
Abdullah, tell me which future.
It's kind of like a wolf suit, actually. It's like a sweater almost. Yeah, he's still wearing that wolf suit. But he's been wearing it for a year. It's got to have holes. It's got to be dirty. He's been on a boat for a year. Does it look like that?
Does it look like it's been on for a year?
Interesting.
Let's go to the next
Kind of
page.
weird. And when he came to the place where the wild things are,
Tell me.
they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth. Now, I want to try something. I wonder if we can roar a terrible roar. When I hold up my hand, we need to stop right away. Otherwise, we can't do it again. Get ready. We're going to roar our terrible roar. Go! Oh, I think we can stop even quicker. Get ready. All right, sit down. And then gnash their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws.
Ooh, can we try this? All right. When you gnash your teeth, it looks like this. Show me.
Silently.
And then, when they roll their terrible eyes, they go like this. Try it. And then, what is the last thing they did, Miss Gordon? And they show their terrible claws. Show your terrible claws. It's silent. No, wait. Not your mouth. Your claws. And hold your hand. Hold it.
3,
Check it.
2, 1, 0. On your
All over
bottom.
there.
Got it. Let's see what happened. Till Max said, "Be still!" and tamed them with a magic trick. We do magic here sometimes, don't we? His magic trick was staring into all of their yellow eyes without blinking once. I wonder if we can all stare.
So that means
Without
without
blinking.
blinking, just stare right at Miss Gordon. Just look at her.
Those laser eyes of yours.
Dylan hasn't, oh, I was going to say Sinai hasn't blinked. Tomi hasn't blinked.
Ooh,
Shakai hasn't blinked. All right, take
Her
one
eyes.
blink. Stare again. Don't blink.
Okay.
Jerry
There we go.
isn't blinking. Jamin isn't blinking.
And they were all frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. Interesting. When he said "be still," he kind of sounded like somebody else we read about in the story. I wonder who it is. Think about that in your heads as we read, hands down. Think about that. Diana, glasses on, my friend. I wonder who he thought about now. Thinking hands down. Great job.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happens next.
And they made him the king of all the wild things. Everyone take up your crown, put it on your head, sit up straight so we can see that shining crown,
Ooh,
and
let's see
hold
that
those
shining
hands.
crown from Prince. He's sitting up
Look
so
how
straight and
straight
tall.
that is, Tristan.
Marvin has a beautiful crown sitting up so straight and tall. Beautiful.
And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Wild rumpus.
Here we go. Repeat after me. And now, let the wild rumpus start. And hands folded, sitting up straight and tall. Check Miss Gordon. It
What are
looks like
rumpuses?
they're what does it look like they're doing? Who's checking the picture? What are they doing right now? What's a wild rumpus? Shakai? What does it What does it look like they're doing?
It looks like they're trying to catch the moon.
Maybe they're trying to catch the moon, but hold on.
Interesting.
When I see over here, I'm seeing them going like this. And what does it look like they're doing? And what does it kind of look like they're doing?
Something that we kind of
That we do during our wiggle breaks. What does it look like they're doing? Ruby?
Dancing.
Yeah, they're dancing. Let's see if we can try it together.
Get there. 2.
Hands are by your sides in 1. Hands are by your sides in 0. I'm checking. Got it? Got it? Got it. So a wild rumpus kind of looks like this. It's like a silent wild rumpus. So we're going to look at those pictures. Miss Gordon. All right, watch me. Let's pretend to do what some of them are doing. Do what I do. Here we go. And show me your best wild rumpus move. One move. Show me the best rumpus move. Show me the best rumpus move. It's a wild rumpus. Show me one more rumpus move. No, sadly. Show me one more rumpus move. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hands folded. Checking in 3, 2, 1, 0. Nice job getting it back together. Right?
The wild rumpus.
So here's what I want us to do now. It looks like they're hanging off of a what? What are they hanging off of? Who's really tracking? Jamin saw the picture. Natalia saw the picture. What are they hanging off of, Dylan?
They're hanging on the tree.
So here's what I want you to do. Get your hands up and say, we're hanging on the trees. Here's what I want you to do. Go to the next tree, swing over to the next one, grab onto both hands, swing on over to the next one, grab grab on both hands. And fold your hands. Check it. 3, 2, 1, 0. Got it. Got it. Got it. Nicholas, correction. Fold your hands.
Quiet, but this is still going. It looks like they're dancing again. What else does it look like they're doing? What else does it look like they're doing, Tristan?
They're marching.
They're marching! And where's
Hold on.
Max?
No.
He's the king. Does he have to march? Show me silently. They're carrying
The
Max.
monsters are carrying on their backs. Pretty cool.
I hope we're still sitting up when those crowds are high. There they are. Now I can see that cool
Now let's
crown.
listen to what happened next.
Now stop, said Max, and he sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. What does that sound like? Who does that remind you of in the story? Who does that remind you of? Hands down. Think to yourself. Thinking hands up.
Because this is, I mean, remember, here's what Max said. Max said, now stop. What does he say? He said, and then he made them, go to bed without their dinner. What does that remind you of? From the beginning, from earlier in the story.
Thinking hands up. Mr. Park. It's time to.
Get those whisper cell phones out. In 3, 2, Chloe, correction. 1, 0. We don't know. Go for it.
It reminds me and whisper some thumbs down, saying Clinton, but oh, let's get those back up. We can do it quieter. Hang up those whisper cell phones. On me, sing this one in 3, 2. Terry, head up. 1 in 0 to 9 and hold it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
So what does this remind you of from earlier in the book? And you say, it reminds me of, go for it, Jessica, level 4.
Track
It
Jessica.
reminds me of the boy said, I'm gonna eat you for dinner.
No, it's not, I'm gonna
Who
eat that.
else?
But who said, now stop, and then said, go upstairs and no dinner? Who said that earlier in the story? Do you remember, Jessica, now? So who does it remind you? Say, it reminds me of.
It reminds me of her mom, his mother.
Oh.
That's right. Remember?
And Miss Gordon is going back to show you, she's going to show what happened right over here. Check it out. If we remember, over here, Mom said, what did Mom say, Miss Gordon?
His mother said,
Okay, just said,
so he was sent to bed without supper.
if you remember Mom sending him up to bed without supper, show me a sign. Oh, yeah.
Remember?
So he's saying the same thing. Hands folded, sitting
He
up straight
sent
and
them to
tall.
bed without supper.
Trap me in 3, 2, 1, 0. Trap Miss Gordon. Here we go.
Oh, those crowns. Oh, I see Ronald's crown. Oh, I see Jeremiah's crown. Interesting. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely. Show me on your faces how you feel when you're lonely. Show me on your faces.
Homie's got a great lonely face. Prince is showing me a great lonely face.
I'm waiting for my 2 friends.
Marvin is showing me a lonely face.
And he wanted to be where someone loved him the best of all. Now we're in a classroom where we all love each other, so let's at those big smiles. Yeah, we're not lonely here. Then, all around him, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. Everyone take a big, everyone say, So he gave up being the king of where the wild things are. Gave up being the king of where the wild things are. But the wild things, oh please, don't go. What did they say? They said, oh please,
Don't go.
They said, we'll eat you up. They said,
We'll eat you up.
we just love you so we.
Just love you so.
And Max said, no. He said,
No.
The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Get ready to roar that terrible roar. Remember, when I put up my hand, that means stop. Get ready. Roar. Oh my God, that was so fast. We got it back so fast, didn't we, Mr.
Yes,
Park?
we did, Miss
I think
Gordon.
that we saved time there, so we can do it again. Get ready. Roar. Good job. Okay. Now, gnash your terrible teeth silently.
Like this.
Gnash them. Roll those
Like
terrible eyes. Show me that terrible claws.
Show those claws.
Show those terrible claws. Put those terrible claws together and fold those hands in 3, in 2, in 1, in 0. Get there. Got it. Got it. Got it. Are we, Joanna? The wild thing. Oh. I already read that silly, Miss Gordon. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. Everyone say goodbye. Was he afraid of the wild things? Show me silently. Even with their terrible roars and terrible claws? And he sailed back over a year, in and out of weeks and through the day. Wait a minute. Was it another year? Show me silently. Show me silently, Marvin. Great job. Hands folded. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. He found his supper waiting for him in his room. There's his supper sitting right there. Is he still wearing the same wolf costume? Show me silently. Still looks pretty white, not dirty. Weird. And it was still hot. Wait a minute, it was still hot.
So when he came back, his dinner was already out, and it was still hot. That makes me wonder. And I like that Shakai's wondering, and Prince is wondering. That makes me wonder.
Weird. Everyone say something's weird.
Something's weird.
I wonder, was the journey that Max took to where the wild things are, was it real or imaginary? Think in your heads, thinking fingers up. Think about, was it real or imaginary? Why do you think that? Now that you have a good idea in your head, hey, Mr. Park, it's time to
Turn and talk in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
lock eyes with your partner.
And you're going to tell your partner if it's real or if it's imaginary. I think it's You think it's real? Turn back in 5, 4, 3, 2. Prince is folding his hands right away. 1, fold them in 0.
So, this was a really good discussion. We heard some pretty good things. Waiting for silence so that we can talk about this. Hands down. When I
Josh,
say
Jamin, folded, eyes up, correction.
wild thing, hands are going to go up. Are you ready? Hands are folded in our laps while we wait. Get ready. Winter. Oh, I tricked a few of you. Wild thing. Ooh, we can do it faster. Hands down. Get ready? Hand up. Wild thing. Ooh, that was so fast, but we need to do it silently. One more time. Hands down. Silently. Wild thing. Ooh, that was really fast. What do you think, Tamilola? Was it real or imaginary? Do you think it was real? What did you just say before when you were turning and talking? Somebody else, what do you think? What do you think, Prince? Track Prince.
Imaginary.
Hold on, when you're tracking, you're on your bottom, your hands are folded, and you're just watching Prince. I'm looking for that now.
It was imaginary.
Sorry, guys. Think eyes.
Do you agree? Show me silent connection. You think it was imaginary? Why do you think that? Why do we think it was imaginary? Wild thing! Why do we think it was imaginary? Jamin, what do you think? Track Jamin on your bottom, please. Wait. Heads up, track Jamin. Deal. Why?
Because it's real.
Well, we just said it was imaginary. Why do you think it's imaginary? Why do you think it's imaginary, Chelsea?
Because it was
Imaginary. Well, let's think. Eyes on me. Let's think. It was imaginary. Why do we know this? We talked about it. There was a forest growing in his room.
Sorry.
His suit was white, even though he's been wearing it for years and years. His dinner was still hot. Do you think his dinner would be hot if he's been gone for years and years? Why was it imaginary? Why was it imaginary, Ronell? Track Ronell, he's back there. Wait, Ronell. Chica. Green room. Green room. Why?
It was imaginary because his food was already in his room.
What did Ronell just say, Chloe?
His clothes were already in the room.
He said his food, but his clothes were too. You heard the second part. That's why we need to speak loud and proud. So his food was already in his room. His food was in his room, but he was gone for years and years. He was gone for years and years. So I think it was imaginary because wild thing. Trista. He went to the wild things to see monsters. That's what he did. Was that real or imaginary?
Imaginary.
How do you know that though?
Because he's not in real life.
They're not wild things in real life? You guys don't see wild things walking down our street? I thought I saw some wild things on this carpet. Didn't you, Mr. Park?
No. Fold your hands in, back in 3, fold them back in 2, fold them back in 1, fold them back in 0. So we read this story, and we saw a lot of things that let us know that this story was not real. We found out that this story was, it was
Not real!
So what's the word that we use when it's not real? What do we say that it is, Shakai? Imaginary. Team, this story, Max's world in the wild.
Everyone track the ceiling, track the floor, track Mr. Park, please.
Try me. So, it wasn't real, it was imaginary. It was... And you guys came up with a lot of... Sitting up against folded. You guys came up with a lot of great reasons why you knew it was imaginary and not real. Alright, team. Everyone say story time.
Story time!
Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Let's try it again. Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Now it's time for lunch time. So make sure you're doing your best on our walk down. Do you want to stop? So, let's see who looks ready for lunch. Who has hands folded? Who's tracking me? Who's